So lots of us PES players find out that we score a lot of goals and then we also concede a lot of goals. So today I'm going to solve that problem for you guys. Today I'm going to show you guys 5 tips to defend way better in PES 2021 mobile. So welcome back to the channel. This is Buff Games. So before we get started, please, if you're watching this video right now and you haven't subscribed, or perhaps you're new to the channel and this is the first time you're watching my video, please do consider hitting the subscribe button and then turning on the notification. It's absolutely free and you'd be doing me a favor. Now we're going to start with the center back combination, and I've seen this affect a lot of players in the game. Now if you're a possession type player, you don't want to have two build-up center backs. What do I mean by build-up? Their playing style, Virgil van Dijk is a build-up center back. So you don't want to have two build-up center backs. Rather, what you'd want to have is one destroyer and then one build-up center back. Now the essence of the destroyer. If you're a possession player, you'd find out that your motive will be to be with the ball at least most of the time. So using a destroyer, you'd find out that the destroyer makes hard tackles on the opposition, on his opponents, thereby getting the ball back to you, faster. So that's for you all who use the tiki-taka or the possession game, attacking style. You'd want to have one destroyer and at least one build-up center back, so that way it's balanced. So moving on for the counter-attack players, counter-attack, it's like a deep-sitting attacking mode. It's about you basically accumulating pressure and then finding the perfect time to break out. So that's why you will need two build-up center backs who will sit back and then orchestrate the attack from deep. That's what they do. So that's the combination. If you're a possession type player, one destroyer and one build-up. If you're a counter-attack player, two build-ups would do you well. We move on to the second tip, which is man marking, and this is what actually differentiates a pro player from a beginner. Now take a look at this situation here. I'm in a pretty bad situation and this is how I deal with it. You can see I have my cursor on Beckenbauer, but I don't charge straight in. So what I do with Beckenbauer is I just keep manning my zone and then I use my second marker to mark the opponent. And that's what you do. That's how you'd want to mark. You don't charge straight in with your man. You'd want to observe with one and then mark with the other. So the purpose of the dormant defender, which is the observer, what he's meant to do is, let's say, to prevent the opponent from easily getting into a position which would favor him, while the second defender comes to mark him. Now there will surely be situations where you get counter-attacked. I mean, you're a human being and you're bound to make mistakes. So this is how you deal with it. As you can see, I'm in a pretty bad situation. But what I do now, I don't go marking the man with Beckenbauer because I see there's a second man making a run for it. So this is what I do. So I use my left back to see if he could get the ball back and he couldn't. So I'm in a tight situation and this is what I do. I doubt Rodrigo would go for a straight shot because the angle is quite tight and very few players can sneak it in at a tight angle. So I shadow mark him. I go for the space that he's likely to turn to. Most people would want to create a favorable angle for themselves and then swerve it in or then play it into the far post. You need to be able to predict. We are all human beings and there are stuff we are most likely to do, so you need to be able to predict, okay, in this situation, this is what my opponent is most likely to do. And then what you want to do, instead of going straight for the man, which you can easily be dribbled that way, you'd want to intercept at that position which he is likely to move to. Now, I want you guys to take a look at this situation because this is actually an important one. This right here is called baiting. What my opponent wants is for my center back to come over and mark Morata. And then in the process where he sees that my center back is falling for it, he's taking the bait, Morata swiftly gives a back pass towards any of his teammates. And at that point, you'd find out that your center back has been displaced. And after that, what they will do is to loft a pass to Morata, a lofted through ball to Morata, or just simply give him a true pass. and you would find out that he will zoom away with the ball, Morata, and that will give him, a free one-on-one situation. But I'm not going to let that happen because I used to fall for this before in PES 2018, but not anymore. So this is how to prevent it. As you guys can see, I didn't take the bait with Beckenbauer, and I'm still not taking the bait. And that's it. That's how you get the ball back. Don't take the bait. Be careful, guys. It's very tempting, but you have to resist that temptation. Now you guys should take your time and observe this. Beckenbauer got displaced, which means I have one centre back left in the box. That's Van Dijk. Now remember what I told you guys about intercepting at the space. As you can see, I'm not going straight for Morata. Rather, I'm going for the second man, which he's going to pass to, and then I intercept at the space. So we move over to the third tip of the day, and I know the man marking guide took quite long, but we all know that's the essential part of defending. That's the most essential part of defending. So we move over to the third tip of the day, which is the player form. And this is something almost, a lot of players overlook this, and it's terrible. It's very, very bad. The player form actually has a lot to do with what, the way the player plays and, the quality of his play. If you guys want, just comment below. I could take my time in another video and show you guys how much the player form affects the player. But then for this situation, if your player is out of form, what you need to do is to substitute that player. And that is the exact reason why I have legends and iconic moment players in my squad, because their form is always at B, which means it can never be bad. So unlike the base and featured players, the live updates affect their form. But then the legends and iconic moments, live updates don't affect their form. They are always in good form. So guys, I advise you to, for every base player you have in your squad, have a legend replacement for that player. And then for the fourth tip of the day, we have the defending skills. You should always make sure your defender has these 4 skills. And that is the man marking, interception, acrobatic clear, and the fighting spirit. Those 4 skills, you should make sure your defender has, at least your centre back, you should make sure they have those 4 skills. Virgil van Dijk has 4 of them, Sergio Ramos, Beckenbauer, they all have 4 of them. Then Koulibaly doesn't have the acrobatic clear, but what you can do, with a skill tokens, we get them from match days. You could actually, get this skill for him. That's what you could do, or you could just substitute him with a player who has that skill. For the 5th tip, we have the offside trap. Now basically for possession type players, because our defenders get involved in the passing, we play the high line, you'd want to have your offside trap turned on. So for the counter attack players, it's a deep shooting tactics, so you may not need the offside trap to be turned on. That's for counter attack. And with that, we come to the end of this video. Those are the 5 defending tips I have for you guys. Do practice them. They have been very useful for me. And that's it. I will catch you guys later.